Heating and Air.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. If you've been seriously injured in a truck or car wreck, you want Wilhite. Get your free case review now. We've been voted best personal injury law firm for the last 3 years in a row. Visit WilhiteWins.com and win big with Wilhite.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. National Western Complex. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. National Western Complex. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. National Western Complex. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. National Western Complex. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. National Western Complex. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Need a plumber? Euro Plumbing has the lowest prices in town. Rock bottom prices on whole house repipes, sewer line repairs, even water heaters. 720-500-3000.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver.
You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight. Taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
And it is Denver Sports Tonight on this Tuesday night in the Mile High City. He's Marcello Romano. I'm Will Peterson. We will roll with you for the next hour. Big Avalanche game tonight. They start another Cup campaign. Cup or bust? We'll get into that about 6:30. Avs and Kings. Oof, still got 3 hours. 8:50 puck drop out there in L.A. Marcello, we begin, of course.
You'll have all of it, though, right? Right when it's done?
Yeah, I'll be
courtesy of Will Peterson at DenverSports.com.
Absolutely. You can read about the entire game. I am happy to stay up, watch it, write about it. Been craving some hockey, particularly the last time they played real hockey, how that ended 156 days ago. Shout out Zach for doing that research. But
does it feel like it's been that long to you?
156 days? About right, actually. How about you?
No, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess it has. I was trying to when he said that today, I was like, what? I know exactly where I was when it happened.
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, like where you're up 2-0, everything looking good, you're going to move on, and then you didn't.
Just that sick feeling of watching it all unravel.
That's what sports is phenomenal. Like, listen, you think the world champs were up 17-3 the other day and they had any inclination at all that the Denver Broncos were going to come back and win that football game?
No, and that's where I want to begin because – yes, the Broncos are in London. We have not heard from them yet. We're hoping to hear from them actually bright and early tomorrow morning. You may get a Sean Payton press conference around 7:30 a.m. So set your alarms. Must-see TV. It'll be, 2:30 in London or so when he chats with the media. But, yeah, let's begin there. I mean, first time you and I have
real quick first.
Yeah.
Have you been to London?
I have. It's been quite some time, but I have.
Dante
London? Gomez, London.
I have been to London.
Cello?
No, I haven't.
Very cool spot. If you ever get the chance, and the best part about it is there's no language barrier.
I've never been to Europe.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Have you been overseas before?
No, I mean I've been to. Here's where I've been to Hawaii and Mexico, and then everything else is lower 48.
Okay. But Hawaii, you got to go over the Pacific Ocean for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
Now, it's still the U.S., so I don't know if it counts as quote-unquote overseas.
It doesn't, no.
Yeah, you're flying over a sea for a little while.
It's probably about, I guess once you took the flight from here, I think it's like 7 hours from here, direct. But how long is the flight to London?
From Denver? 8.
Oh,
pretty
it's
similar.
Similar.
Yeah.
All right.
8, maybe 8.5. Depends on that jet stream, Cello. You always got to worry about that jet stream.
Which way's faster?
But we'll hear from the Broncos there. They've been there since really Monday morning because they flew overnight after their stunning victory against the Eagles. And let's begin with the comeback because you said something interesting. Did you think Philly ever fathom they would blow a 17-3 to lead and lose. I think one of my biggest takeaways is, yes, the fourth quarter from Denver was exciting, phenomenal, thrilling, absolutely awesome comeback. I think the Eagles relaxed, and I think the Eagles had craptastic play calling down the stretch.
Yeah, well, when one of your better players touches the ball, I mean, other than the receiving tutty that he had, 6 carries for Saquon Barkley.
Insane.
That's like nuts to even really say that out loud and be like, that was a reality for them when you had that lead. Why would you not just run it out? Keep feeding him.
If I had told you on Friday, hey, one running back's going to get 20 carries to lead his team, and the other's going to get 6 to lead his team, you would have gone, oh, no. Sean's not going to run the ball. He's going to get down early. He's going to be pass happy, and J.K. Dobbins only going to get 6 carries.
Yes, and I would have put a decent amount of money on it that would have been the case.
Mm-hmm. But it was flipped. Dobbins, 20 carries, 79 yards. Tutty. Saquon Barkley, 6 carries, 30 yards. I understand that Kellen Moore left the Eagles to go to the Saints. But this new OC, and they mentioned him on the broadcast a couple times. I can't even remember the cat's name. He's not the brightest crayon in the box, Jello. I think you could coordinate a better offense in Philadelphia, handing the ball to Saquon Barkley more than 6 times. I understand why Eagles fans are already calling for this guy to be fired and how much they miss Kellen Moore. That is, I mean, I'm glad we're not doing sports talk in Philly. That is inexcusable. Now, the Broncos took advantage and deserve all the credit in the world for taking advantage, but Philly also did some dumb stuff, particularly late in that game.
Well, and they've been the beneficiaries of winning these type of close games, right? A lot of people comparing their first 4 or 5 games to what the Chiefs did last year, where they just know how to win. And in situations like that, you would have never thought. I tell you what, man, when that third quarter ended, I was like, this is putrid. Bo didn't look great up until that point. The offense was, I mean, I think you had, was it 7 consecutive punts?
Yeah, it was Jeremy Crawshaw was the MVP through 3 quarters.
But that's why we love professional sports. You never know when that momentum can change. Broncos, to their credit, and we talked about it last Thursday, and I think we both thought it was going to be a closer game than most people would think, and we didn't. I don't think either one of us picked them to win, but we thought it was going to be like a field goal type of game.
You're being kind of kind to me. I said it gave me Baltimore vibes, and I picked the Eagles 31-20. So you were definitely in that camp. But
I said 24-21.
You are being kind to me here. But it did look like Baltimore for 3 quarters. I'm sitting there going, Bo's not ready for the moment. Sean can't call the plays for the moment. The defense, you look at the Riley Moss play to Devontae Smith that led to the first touchdown, 3rd and 17, inexcusable. You look to the second touchdown, Alex Singleton trying to chase down Saquon Barkley. That's just never going to happen on the little wheel route out of the backfield. But that being said, defense didn't give up a point the rest of the way. Bo showed up in a big way. Sean stuck with the running game. Dobbins looks like a stud, continues to look like a stud. And oh, by the way, nice to see you, Evan Ingram. Finally, Week 5, 4th quarter, the high-priced tight end shows up in a massive moment as well. He caught that ball at, the 6-yard line?
Yeah, great play.
I thought he was done, and he not only turned it, he got in, and he dove in and kept the knees up to tie the game, to go down 1, and then Sean takes out the wheelbarrow, his big old cajones, goes for 2, and he throws the ball to Mr. Droppy, Troy Franklin, who makes the catch. Broncos go up 18-17. That obviously proved to be massive because eventually the lead gets extended to 4. Philly could have easily kicked a field goal to tie the game. Fortunately for Denver, because of Sean Payton's guts, that was not an option.
Well, you could say guts. You could say he's aggressive. I mean, that was the only time that it reminded me of the Baltimore game because at that point in the game, you could look at it logically. And I guess, when you first see him go, yeah, we're going to go for 2, I raise my hand. What are we doing?
I'm like, if this guy doesn't get this, he's going to get crushed all week for it.
No, I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my wife, I'm talking to my son, and then I started playing the math game. Well, if you get it and you aren't able to score a touchdown, at least you can go down and kick a field goal and you're going to force them to have to score a touchdown. But you still have to go out and make the play. You got to make that call. This takes me back to Cincinnati last year. He wanted to make that call in Cincinnati.
He held up 2 fingers, according to Mike Kliss.
And Bo Nix knew what was being called. We're going to go for 2 here. It wasn't until that they reviewed the play. So, I love the aggressive nature. And he said they went there to win a game. They can't execute, then that's on them. I love the call.
Well, and I love it, too, because it was an announcement that I have a play that I don't think you can stop.
and it wasn't something creative. Well, it was creative, but it wasn't like Philly special. It wasn't gadgety, right?
Yeah.
But he felt like if we get Troy one-on-one, he's going to beat the guy to the spot. Bo's going to put it on him, and that's exactly what happened. But then, two, for them to be able, and I understand there was a couple of controversial things, the pickup on the grounding, the personal foul on Zach Bond that extended the drive on the hit on R.J. Harvey, but for them to bleed all the Phillies timeouts, and what have the Eagles done all year? They've blocked field goals.
Mm-hmm.
I was a nervous mess when Will Lutz came out up 18-17. I was expecting the worst. I was expecting not only for it to get blocked, but Philly to take it the other way. They had the weird, what was it, a delay a game penalty, backed them up 5, but then he just buried it, and you felt like they were going to win. Now, that said, I'll ask you this. All due respect, I'm about to say something insulting because I say all due respect. Why is J.L. Skinner guarding Dallas Goedert in the final moments? Got one PI and could have easily had a second PI. J.L. Skinner, to me, is a fringe special teams guy, not a safety on the field when I'm trying to beat the defending champs in the final moments. I didn't get that.
No, and I'm with you. And I'd actually go back to the beginning of the game because it started off very similar to the Cincinnati game to me. Is the Eagles were
This
able
year,
to take,
Cincy, or last year, Cincy?
This year.
Okay.
Because of, let's just throw it up. And Riley Moss, 50-50, he's probably going to get a flag for PI, right? So their first scoring drive, they took advantage of some of those calls that they were getting against the Broncos. Credit Vance Joseph and that defense for making the changes. But it's like, when is the momentum going to carry over from one week to the other? And you brought up the intentional grounding call. I didn't like. I don't think that was the wrong call. I think them picking up the flag was the right one, and I'll tell you why. Later that evening, did you watch the Patriots and the Bills?
I did. Yep.
Drake May was in a very similar situation, and now that pass was caught, and they were able to extend a drive with it. But it was very similar. He's getting pulled down. I think all he saw was jersey, and he threw it. So I know Tony Romo didn't like it. He went on and on about it, even after the flag was picked up numerous times. But the Broncos needed something like that to be the beneficiaries of that in a place, in a hostile environment on the road for them to kind of win.
They did. And then, of course, once J.L. Skinner commits the penalty, keeps the Eagles alive, they get the ball to what? The 27-yard line. And Jalen Hurts throws this Hail Mary, Cello. And in real time, you couldn't quite see it, but the replays were jarring. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith interfered with each other for the game-winning touchdown. There was like 5 Broncos in a circle.
A.J. Brown was pulling on Devontae Smith's face mask.
Yeah, and Brown and Smith both kind of got hands on the football and sort of deflected it from each other. And I got to that moment, because you have to take the deep breath, you have to digest. But about an hour later, I was sitting there and I'm going, I don't think Broncos country could have handled that. Because the walk-off loss against the Colts, the walk-off Colts loss against the Chargers, if they had a third walk-off loss with either Smith or Brown coming down with that ball, Broncos country would have imploded.
Well, and then Nance and Romo talking about it earlier in the game about they haven't trailed in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But somehow they were a 2-2 football team. And if that would have been the third loss on the season in a very gut-wrenching fashion like that, I was like you. I held my breath when that ball went up.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it took forever for it to kind of hit the ground.
It did feel like it, and there's angles now of Jalen Hurts actually ran to the end zone. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, like trying to catch his own pass.
Like he thought if there's a big deflection, I may get there in time to catch it. It's like the viral videos of the guy throwing the football over the roof and then going and running through the backyard and catching it himself. Dante, you've got something on this Hail Mary. Chime in, man.
No, I was just going to add the fact that Jalen Hurts ran down there, and he's at the 5-yard line when that thing lands. So, it was actually a pretty smart play by him sprinting down the field. And, who knows? Sometimes we see those balls get batted up. That would have been a new one, though. I've never seen anything like that.
Crazy.
No, even for the Broncos, the leverage penalty, that would have made it look 10 times worse for sure. So what was the turning point, Cello? Because we did all have that thought when it was 17-3 of ugh. This team's not quite up for the task. They're not in the big leagues just yet. And I hesitate to use this man's name because Broncos country is going to take it the wrong way. But it felt kind of Tebow-y. It just felt a little Tebow-y. I mean, they did nothing for 3 quarters. And I'm not comparing Bo Nix to Tim Tebow. Bo Nix is a much better quarterback than Tim Tebow. But go watch Bo's presser. Go listen to it if you haven't. He himself said he was terrible in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
What changed? Did they just sort of have the nothing to lose type attitude? Like, you explain to me, like someone who didn't watch the game. I obviously did. I've actually watched it twice. But explain it to someone who maybe was watching a different game. How the heck did Denver win?
Listen, you're going to get all the praise for Sean Payton and Bo Nix. But Sean Payton, for him to still give J.K. Dobbins 20 carries in a game that you trailed for a majority of the football game, it kind of opened up that defense, and then you finally got a couple big plays. Cortland Sutton was phenomenal on Sunday.
He was great.
Like that type of the plays that he made down the stretch, the touchdown that Ingram did down the stretch. It just, I don't know. That's why we love professional sport, because you never know when something like that can flip. And you wouldn't have thought it was going to happen on the road in Philly against the defending world champions. I'm sorry, 17-3 with the 98 Broncos, you ain't coming back.
No.
And you certainly ain't coming back if you're a second-year quarterback who has struggled a little bit early in the year.
Yeah, it was improbable. That's the word I keep coming back to. It was absolutely improbable what happened on Sunday. And it's a two-factor thing. It's Philly relaxing, and it's Denver realizing, guys, we flew all the way here. We're going to London, which, oh, by the way, they're calling the L word. Sean didn't want them talking about London, the banned word. But it's like, well, I know where the L word is because you're making me pack for 10 days. I think I figured that part out. But it was the Eagles' foot off the gas, and it was the Broncos sort of realizing, because Bo himself said it, he said it was about time we won a game like that. Because Bo's just like us. He's human. He was sick of them always losing the close games. He himself brought up Kansas City last year in his post-game press conference. He was sick of what happened to the Chargers, to the Colts, for the Broncos. He knew that, like, I'm only a sophomore in this league, but I got to put my big boy pants on and pull this off. And that's exactly what they did. I think the whole team almost mentally flipped a switch in terms of, we can do this, fellas. We're talented enough. Now it's just about delivering on the field. And they did it in every single facet. Offense, defense, special teams. That entire fourth quarter, you could not have scripted any better when you outscore Philly 18-0.
Signature win.
Absolutely.
By far, the best of his tenure here as the quarterback, and Sean, even for his tenure as the head coach here. A lot of people will go back to that Tampa game from last year. We didn't know what Tampa was going to be last year. What was that, week 3, week 4?
It was week 3, yeah. It was the Greenbrier week. They went to Tampa, then the Greenbrier,
This is
then New York.
completely different for me, Will. This is the defending world champs, and I know they haven't played up to the expectation of what we thought, because so many people, and I said this to you last week, is when you saw them dismantle the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they didn't really lose much, and in fact, their front office is very good at acquiring talent for that roster. You'd almost say that maybe the talent was even better going into this year. For whatever reason, they're not clicking yet. I'm not saying the Eagles are dead by any means, because I think they're going to be there at the end still. But it's like, to do that on the road against that team, I know a lot of people have been talking about, is this the best win since Super Bowl 50?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you kind of have to see what happens and what plays out the rest of the season, but as of right now, give me another one.
Well, they finally snapped the streak against the Chiefs a couple of years ago. Because what was it, 16, 17 in a row, something absurd. Mahomes did have the flu that day, but they still did beat them. And then they went into Buffalo and won in Sean's first year on Monday night. Now, they did get 2 chances on the field goal to win it at the end because Buffalo had 12 guys on the field. But both those were wins with he who shall not be named, Russell Wilson. So he was never the future. So I'm with most people at this station. It was the biggest win since Super Bowl 50 because the Russ wins felt hollow. You knew he wasn't the long-term plan. You knew Sean was going to be one and done with him very quickly into that season. For them to get this kind of win, this is the kind of win that Bo Nix may be talking about 10 years from now. Hey, that's when I knew I could really play in this league with the best of the best of the best.
And what was the result of those seasons? I think we're putting this there. If this team ends up 8-9, I think people forget about this pretty quickly.
But they don't feel like an 8-9 football team after
not
that
at all.
win.
In fact,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, we're just starting to get going. You would have thought that, they would have played a little bit better early in the game because of what they did on Monday night. Now you can flip it and say, hey, it was a short week. You had to go fly across the country, or halfway across the country to play the defending world champs there. I'm just wondering, when does it start to click so that momentum starts from the word go in a game? Because
That's the next step.
Yeah, and you would assume it could happen in a weekend like this one, except you're flying overseas. The Jets got beat up by the Cowboys last week, so automatically you think they'll be playing better.
But they're just not very good.
No.
I mean, that's the great equalizers. The Broncos are much more talented than the Jets. And you're right. That's the next step is complete domination throughout. Because even the Bengals, you look at the final score, 28-3. Oh, they must have dominated. First quarter wasn't a lot of fun to watch. I think what you're getting at is you want to see it from like snap one.
Yeah.
If you win the toss and defer, go force them to go 3 and out and then go score a touchdown. If you lose the toss and they give you the ball, go score a touchdown, make them go 3 and out, and then go score another touchdown. Go up 14-0. Yes, since he turned into a laugher, but it wasn't a laugher from the jump, your next step for the team is, hey, really impressed, but parlay this into a complete 60 minutes.
Especially when you're a better team. They're a better team than the Jets.
Oh.
Like, you shouldn't
Jets may be like number 1 overall pick bad.
Don't be playing with your food in this game and making it interesting. Don't turn it into like what the Titans game ended up being. When you're a better football team, just go out, assert the dominance early, and then just get the W. Win the games you're supposed to. I was talking to James about this earlier this week. It's like, you mess up and lose this one, then it's kind of like we're still growing as a team. But you win this one, you look at the next 4 or 5, like you have a legitimate chance to have, you could go on a pretty big streak here before Kansas City rolls to town.
Well, it's almost like you read my column at DenverSports.com this morning, which was the Broncos do need to ride this epic win into a winning streak, because even if we want to just focus on the next 3 for this very moment, you got the 2 New York teams, dumpster fire. Jackson Dart may one day be able to play in this league, but he just lost to the freaking Saints. He's not ready quite yet. And then the Cowboys are just a circus sideshow made for reality
that
TV.
That one bothers me a little bit.
Well,
still.
I know they have a good offense, but they haven't seen a defense like Denver quite yet, and they're more made for reality television than they are for the NFL. I think what you're getting at, and I was going to say I'm not a betting man. Sometimes I bet. If I were a betting man, I think the Denver Broncos will be 6-2 by the time the calendar flips to November. That's my gut, Cello. That this kind of win, it's a springboard type win, right? It's the kind of win that made all the fans believe, and it's going to be the kind of win that make all the players in the locker rooms start to believe. The Chargers have cooled off in a big way, got killed by the Commanders after a fast start. The Jaguars did you a huge favor last night on Monday Night Football. Not only should you be 6-2 on November 1st, but you should be alone atop the AFC West. That's where we're at this point in time.
How do you think Sean Payton's feeling about it?
Great.
How do you think he was
He's
feeling
a beast
when
in
they were...
October, and he knows this is his best chance to reel off a 4, 5, 6 game winning streak.
You think he's solidified in his comments earlier preseason about the way that he was, lifting up this team and raising expectations?
Yeah, I think he flexed when he was talking about this as a Super Bowl team, and I think he walked out of Philly going, told you so.
And weren't they going to take an alternate route through Philly after the game?
There was some chatter about that. He wanted to go down Broad Street and I don't know, give his 2 middle fingers to the fans that he told Zach By that he has. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, Sean, you're asking me Sean swag level. I think Sean swag level is a firm 10 out of 10 at this very moment in time. Is that fair to say?
I don't know. I mean, after that start, you would have thought it would kind of been squandered just a tad, don't you think?
No, I know, but
no.
Don't the Chargers and Colts debacles feel kind of firmly in the past at this point?
Yes.
That's how I feel.
And I think we're realizing how much better the Colts are than people initially thought.
Like the Colts right now are the number 1 seed in the entire AFC. I mean, we're a third of the way in, but
how many
that's
points
still
have they
notable.
scored? Like they're legit until they're not.
And you should have beaten them.
Yes.
And you should have beaten them.
Yeah, you had it.
So that being said, is 6-2 fair? Is 6-2 not just we live in La La Land? That's where we want the Broncos to be. It's 6-2 is like, fellas, you should be 6-2. You have no reason to not beat the Jets, Giants, and Cowboys.
I think 8-2 is a legitimate goal.
Because then you go to Houston and then you got Vegas.
And I know Houston's played better. I mean, who really knows? The Ravens are kind of a dumpster fire right now.
There's always injuries. That one team that everyone thinks is a contender that turns into a mess. It may be Baltimore this year.
Yeah, and Houston has played better. But that's if you ask me right now who's a better team, I would give a slight lean to the Broncos there, even on the road in that game, because of the way Houston started. That's a month down the road, so we'll see. But I think 8-2 is legitimate, realistic.
Well, you realize if they are 8-2 when the Chiefs come here on November 16th, that they'll be on a 7-game winning streak with Kansas City coming to town. This was a 1-2 football team at one point in time.
And you got Kansas City, who welcomes in Detroit this weekend. Then I think they have Buffalo before they get here, and one other team that it's like, wow, they have a gauntlet to get through.
So now you're telling me, if we want to get super greedy, that you can't win the division that day. We get it, but you can put a stranglehold on it.
Oh, heck yeah.
If you go to 9-2 and you drop KC to what, 5-6, 6-5? Not saying that's insurmountable, because they're still the Chiefs and they still have Patrick Mahomes, but it would feel like the type of division lead that with a defense this good, a running game you trust, you're not going to squander. Now, those could be famous last words, but we're kind of feeling ourselves. They're on a 2-game winning streak, and you just mentioned this could turn into a 7-game winning streak.
I think it's a realistic, maybe optimistic look, but it is certainly realistic. But this is the NFL. Look what happened after 3 weeks. The Chargers and the Packers are going to the Super Bowl, right? And after a couple more weeks, the Chargers are wheeling. The Packers have not looked near as good either. It's interesting how it plays out. That's why you have to watch out for Philly down the stretch and Kansas City.
And we would be remiss, real quick. We've shouted out a lot of guys. Nick Bonito, Cello. I mean, 2.5 sacks. He's got 7 now on the year.
Yeah.
His Defensive Player of the Year odds keep going down and down and down and down. You could have gotten him like 60-1 a month ago. He's now like 6-1. This dude, I'm no longer afraid to say it. He's creeping. He's not there, but he's creeping into absolutely belonging in the same sentence as Von Miller. He is a monster.
Oh, now it looks like you got a bargain deal for that type of player.
Well, who was screaming to pay him? This guy. It's almost like I saw it coming. Almost like, yeah, you should pay this guy before the season starts. But even in our wildest dreams, we couldn't have predicted 7 sacks for 5 games.
No, not at all.
You think he is DPOY or going to be right there?
Well, he's going to be in the conversation for sure. You know, barring that he stays healthy and everything, he's going to be there.
And it just feels good to have a pass rusher that every Sunday, what do we say about Vaughn? He can wreck games.
Yep.
Starting to feel like Nick Bonito can wreck football games. All right, coming up next, the Avalanche go on another quest to win the Cup. It begins tonight. What are our expectations? Who's on the hot seat? And the biggest storylines early in this season. Cello and I will tackle it all.
The Broncos took down the defending Super Bowl champs in the city of brotherly love. After a bumpy start to the season,
as Denver finally found its true team identity.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Bonnie from O'Meara Ford has convinced me they really want to earn your business. So, talk to me, Bonnie.
Well, O'Meara has over 1,000 vehicles to choose from. Plus, we have the largest service center in the region with 84 service bays. And we've sold 1 million vehicles since 1913. Our friendly staff will treat you right. And when it comes to repairs, our knowledgeable technicians do it right the first time.
There it is. O'Meara saves you time and money, whether you buy new or used. O'MearaFord.com.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Halloween's here. Costumes, candy, and maybe a few scares. But nothing's scarier than being ghosted by your insurance company after an accident. At Postman Law, we've delivered over $3 billion to our clients, and we make it simple. Speed, ease, results. With free case evaluations and no fee unless we win, you're never left in the dark. Call 844-POSTMAN or visit postmanlaw.com. Others promise. Postman delivers. This is attorney advertising.
Hey, Stoke here. If you need a hip or knee replacement surgery, check out Colorado Joint Replacement. They're home to some of the top trained surgeons in the state using the latest technology. Their expert surgeons offer the most innovative joint replacement care in the Front Range. To schedule an appointment, visit coloradojoint.org.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
Born to Dare. Tudor timepieces from Williams Jewelers are devoted to the classic, but reject the status quo.
Like the Tudor Black Bay Dive and Sporting Watch. The Tudor Black Bay incorporates a supremely robust manufacturer caliber movement that took the Tudor R&D team 5 years to develop.
It boasts a generous 70-hour power reserve, exceptional ergonomics, and independently certified precision.
It sets a higher standard, Tudor standards.
Come experience the entire collection of fine, Swiss Tudor timepieces for men and women at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, including the legendary Black Bay and the all-new Pelagos FXD.
For those who are up for anything, who face their fears,
and those who reinvent themselves every day.
For those born to dare, Tudor.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, on the corner of Broadway and Bellevue, your official Tudor jeweler.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3, The Fan.
Hey guys, boy Stink here today by my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if he can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house all cash and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-944-3333, 720-944-33. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
I appreciate the RonaldSlide.com text line 303-713-1043. Tons of reaction to Broncos and Eagles chatter. We'll get to the Avs momentarily, but I want to hit on a couple of these. The 0691, this is Bryce in the Ranch. Shout out, Bryce. Although I'm not sure I'm going to shout out the text because he says, we barely beat the Eagles and now they're winning 7 straight. Slow down, boys. Bryce, I'm just looking at the schedule, dude. What have they done with Sean Payton and Bo Nix? They've beaten bad teams. I mean, we saw the graphic on Sunday. What was it? They're like 11-1 in games decided by 8 or more points. I mean, think about the Falcons last year. Think about the Panthers last year. Think about the Bengals this year. They beat up on bad teams. That's just what they do. And quite frankly, the next 5 games, they're playing 4 bad teams in the Houston Texans. Jets, bad. Giants, bad. Cowboys, decent offense, I still think bad. Raiders, dumpster fire bad, losing 40-6 to the Colts. I appreciate where Bryce is coming from, but, Chell, I don't feel like slowing down. Do you?
No, not at all. I mean, like, listen, I get it. Like, we can say that, but I also made the point at the end of that first segment saying we thought we knew answers after 3 weeks. And I'm guilty of it, too. I thought, geez, man, if the Chargers are going to start like that, it's going to be hard for anyone to get back in this divisional race. Well, a couple weeks later, the Chargers have a few more injuries, not playing well, have lost 2 in a row. You're what? It's essentially tied with them, but they have the game against you head-to-head, so what are you, a half game back right now as it stands?
Yeah, but the good news is you still have Week 18.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, like, the Colts have won the tiebreaker over the Broncos. You can't make that up.
No, for sure. And listen, my point is, we think we have answers now, and I don't know that you could have a better – you called it a springboard win, a signature win. I don't know how you could have a better way of going overseas, and in this, 4-game stretch coming up, there's not a better start than to beat the defending world champions at home to go into it. You go out, if you play the way you're supposed to play, the Broncos should be in that conversation of what we were talking about.
The 2038 says it's not Tebow at all. What are you talking about? John Elway had many games like that because unlike Tebow, Bo can throw the ball in tight spaces and with great timing, so could John Elway. It's not Tebow at all. Stop it. And then the 8351 says, Bo Nix is 100% Tebow 2.0. Listen, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. The one texter, the reason I brought it up is because it felt Tebow-y because they were down 17-3. They couldn't do squat, and they managed to win the football game in, frankly, miraculous fashion. The 8351, I got to give you pushback. Bo Nix is not Tebow 2.0. He's a much better quarterback than Tebow. Tebow's a great athlete. He wasn't a QB. Bo's a QB. Is that a fair statement, Shella?
Yeah, listen, the Tebow years were because they needed one score, and it wasn't going against the defending world champion. So that's a huge difference. And Bo Nix had to make plays down the stretch. And it wasn't just with his legs. I mean, he started to connect offensively throwing the football. So not the same guy at all.
No.
And we all loved the Tebow time because it was fun. It was entertaining.
But we knew it was probably a 1 year.
Yes, we knew, hey, this Cinderella, it's going to strike midnight at some point or another for this guy and this team.
It was kind of a magic carpet ride that we knew was going to settle down at some point.
Where this is the trajectory is only up for this team and that quarterback.
Oh, yeah, we just hopped on the ride. I don't think any of us are getting off anytime soon. The 9036 says, did it ever occur to you guys our offensive line isn't exactly fantastic? I saw running backs who are constantly contacted or at or behind the line of scrimmage. Listen, I actually think the O-line's pretty good, but I see where the texter's coming from. I think we have to shout out J.K. Dobbins for his style, Cello, because his patience is unbelievable, so much so that he takes the ball, he waits, then he finds his hole. And watching on TV, it feels like an eternity, but I think so many of these backs just have this tendency to just go run into someone just as hard as they can. You know what? That's how you get 2 yards every carry. JK's getting 6-7 yards because he's waiting for these holes to develop, and then he's doing it.
I like what Zach said. He made the comparison to Le'Veon Bell.
Sure.
For that type of patience where it's not always going to turn out good for him either, but to have that type of patience, and then I think you guys even have some audio of him, what he's doing behind the line.
Yeah, do you want to hear it? It's a little cat and mouse from J.K. Dobbins. This is with my good friend, Scotty Gage.
How much fun did you have today? I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, especially with my brothers, My O-line, I love. A lot of people ask me, how are you so patient? Well, I got some big guys protecting me, some very good O-linemen protecting me, and so I get to play cat and mouse. That's what I'm out there playing. I'm playing tag, like a little kid. It's a game to you. It's a game. It's fun because I know I got the big boys protecting me. The big boy, the other D linemen, they're not going to touch me because they're protecting me. So let's play cat and mouse with the linebackers and safeties. That's how I see it. That's how I go there and play.
I love that. I've said it many a times. I've said it with you. I've said it with other folks. I think J.K. Dobbins is quickly becoming the best interview on the Broncos, and just another fantastic soundbite from him. But we would be remiss if we don't mention sort of the news that broke late yesterday afternoon that is the biggest news in Broncos country that we have heard so far ever since the Eagles win, and that is our 9 News and 104.3 The Fan Insider, Mike Kliss, is reporting that Ben Powers is headed to injured reserve. He got surgery for torn biceps yesterday. You hear biceps in sports. That's normally very, very bad. Kliss is reporting that they're hoping to have him back in December. I love that. I'm keeping my glass half full. I hope we see Ben Powers. But how worried are you about Alex Palczewski now having to start at left guard for probably the next 8-9 games?
Well, I think you just read a text, and I've been saying it kind of all year going into the season, too, because of the amount of praise that the offensive line was getting going into the season. And I said they kind of got away from some of the criticism that I think they probably deserved for last year as far as a rushing game was concerned. Like I always say the line from Moneyball is like, if you're a good offensive line, then why aren't you a good offensive line? If you're a good hitter, why don't you hit good type of deal?
Right.
So that's one of those things where I kind of look at it as like I don't think they've hit their stride completely, and now they've been much better, and certainly probably a bright spot of the season so far. But it's like I think you have enough talent there. I don't think you're going to see a big miss. So we'll see. But I think they'll keep on trucking, even if it's Palczewski.
Well, it's going to be. I would think he's been the sixth lineman. He's getting those loud ovations when he checks in as eligible at Empower Field at Mile High. But guess what? He's no longer going to be eligible. His job now is going to be to create holes for Dobbins and Harvey and keep Bo Nix upright. Okay, I see what you're saying, but are we poo-pooing Ben Powers a little bit here? This guy started 40 games, all 40 since he signed with the Broncos. He's been a workhorse. I'm just holding my breath just a little bit on it. Let's put it that way.
That's fair, and I'm not meaning to put Ben Powers down. I think you lose, but I don't think you lose a ton there because I think that this offensive line still has room to improve as a group, as an overall unit as the season progresses.
The 0185 says, do you think if the new Broncos owners paid Vance Joseph what a head coach would make, would Vance continue staying with the Broncos and turn down a potential head coaching job?
No,
I don't either. I think he wants a second chance. I think he felt like his first chance, he was being micromanaged by John Elway, that he didn't really get to run the football team in his vision. And I think, quite frankly, we'd all applaud it because you have Jim Leonard.
Do you believe that?
What do you mean?
That it was he was just basically a puppet while he was here as a head coach?
Puppet's probably too strong a word, but I think John, at that point in time, because VJ was a first-time head coach, was probably doing a little more overstepping than he was with, say, Gary Kubiak. Yeah. Couldn't you see that? When Gary's here, John says, Gary, you run it. When Vance is here, John probably felt like he had to be a little more hands-on.
Listen, man, I've made this point before. You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. John Elway, certainly at the end of it, people were we're being very critical of the guy. And we just take that as if it was fact when we hear that about Vance Joseph. Now, I'm not saying that it's not completely true. I just don't know that that's just something that we take as if it's gospel. Like, oh, he didn't get a fair shake. Well, you got a job. You had the opportunity to do it. And, I mean, you can make the excuses afterwards. But I do agree with you on this front. If he's offered another opportunity, he wants to make that right.
Yeah.
And some coaches can do that. We've seen it with Josh McDaniels. I was almost certain he would have been better in Las Vegas as a head coach. Not the case. Romeo Crennel, when he got his opportunity, not the case. Some people are just made to be coordinators. And maybe Vance Joseph is one of those type of guys that he's more like Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips even had success as a head coach down in Dallas before he became a defensive coordinator again and led the Broncos in the no-fly zone. So I think I want them to have the best year possible and then deal with that at the end. Because if they keep up this pace defensively, there's no way he's coming back.
Yeah, he'll be a head coach somewhere else. Jim Leonard will be the new DC. One piece of evidence just to push back on you a little bit. Remember, the day TJ Ward got cut, Vance Joseph went to the podium and didn't know about it. John had cut him and not told Vance. That's a little damning. This guy was a member of the no-fly zone, Super Bowl 50, beloved by the fans, and the head coach wasn't looped in on you releasing him? Then, a little telling.
You didn't get my email?
Yeah. We're cutting TJ Ward, Vance. Good luck.
Check your text.
3154 says, I had torn bicep surgery. If the bicep is detached, he's not coming back. If it's one of the connections at the shoulder, yes, he can come back. I don't know what kind of bicep surgery Ben Powers had, but good on you for getting through it, Texter, and I hope he can emerge better for it. All right, sorry we didn't get to the Avs. There are a lot of good texts I wanted to get to, but I promise, coming up next, cup or bust for the Avs. Is that the expectation? Cello and I'll dive into it.
After 3 bad quarters, the Broncos offense rallied late and took down the Eagles for a signature road win. Can Sean Payton keep the momentum rolling as the team prepares to head overseas? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
They say there's no such thing as a free lunch, but not true, I say. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040, and I'm here to tell you about the best, absolute best free meal in all of Denver. Times are tight right now. You go to the grocery store, things are insane. So we all could use a little bit of help. No questions asked. Anybody that needs it can come by every first and third Thursday. Here's how it works. You pull up, you pop your trunk. They put free groceries for the week in your trunk, and they say, how many hot meals do you need? We pass those to you right through your window, and this is good stuff. This is not soup kitchen stuff. I smoke these meats personally. Delicious pulled pork. I got my special secret Chipotle chicken recipe. It is fantastic. Please help us spread the word. Anybody that needs it, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road every first and third Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me personally. It's Dan Jacobs at 303 Law 4040.
The cost of everything is still out of control, and many of us are relying on credit cards to cover essentials. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. Americans collectively owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. You might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. Well, there's good news. They've created a smart equity loan, a solution designed to help you take control of your finances without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a HELOC, which can have varied interest rates, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate. That means one predictable monthly payment, giving you peace of mind. This loan allows you to leverage the equity in your home to pay off high interest debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your existing low mortgage rate intact. It only takes 10 minutes to get started with no upfront or hidden fees. Call American Financing today and start saving now at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years. I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be, active, at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. National Western Complex. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. National Western Complex. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. National Western Complex. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. National Western Complex. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. National Western Complex. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
All right, if you are with us live and not after the fact on a podcast, the Avalanche and Kings will get going in 2 hours and 2 minutes. 8:50 puck drop, ESPN. End of a triple header for the NHL to kick off the 2025-26 season.
Hockey.
Cello, we dabbled with it very briefly at the start of the show, but I am glad, man, because I've had that bad taste now. I've had that bad taste for about 5 months after what Mikko Rantanen did in Game 7 here. Hat trick. He did it down in Dallas, but against the Avalanche. Third period hat trick to end their season. I've been around the players a lot the last few weeks. They're definitely still bitter about it, I think would be the word I would use. They're doing all the right things, saying, hey, it's in the past, we're on to this year, et cetera, but I think it's a little bit of fuel for the Avalanche as they embark on another cup or bust type campaign.
Well, listen, I think everyone was disappointed when they exited the postseason last year, but you also have to take into account, like, they completely swapped out the goaltending room in December of last year. There was a lot of moves made, prior to the trade deadline. And I guess as time heals all wounds, you could be like, maybe they just didn't have enough time together to gel properly to make that Stanley Cup run. Because I think if anything shows you what it takes to win the Stanley Cup, which I think a lot of people would agree it's probably the most difficult championship to win in all of professional sports, you look at the Florida Panthers, they're just a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Avalanche have more talent than the Florida Panthers, but the Panthers might be deeper and just play better as a team. So maybe that was kind of the reason that they fell short. And I think going into a season, knowing what you're going to have going forward and being able to kind of use that to fuel you to go and shoot for a championship, because you said it before the break, championship or bust.
Sure.
Stanley Cup or bust, that's 100% accurate. And it's the same thing for the other team that inhabits Ball Arena. It's championship time for both those teams. That's why I think it's an interesting question with the Broncos. What Sean Payton said at the beginning of the season, them having that momentum off the big win in Philadelphia, Denver could become title town. You always talk about parades.
I love parades.
And we could even throw out odds right now of, do we get one? Do we possibly get two? Do we get none? What's the most likelihood for you? Because I believe one's coming. I don't know which one is going to be. But and I'd probably say the Broncos are still a little premature to be in that conversation, but the other two teams are not.
Well, you said, could we get 0, 1, or 2? Well, why not make it 3? What about 3 parades? What about 1 in February and 2 in June? How's that sound for you?
I'm on board.
It would obviously be miraculous to even get 1, because we know how hard it is
Yes.
to win a championship. We were spoiled in the late 90s and the early 2000s, right? We got 2 from the Avs, 2 from the Broncos. Do you know how long we waited? From 01 to 2015. Took us 14 years, and with all due respect to the Rapids and the Mammoth and all the other teams in town, the Big Four, we waited until the Broncos did it, February of 16, when we finally got to gather again after the Avs did it in June of 01. 15 years, that's a long time. Now, go ask the folks in Minneapolis what's a long time. They never get parades up there. I believe the Vikings, the Wild, don't have titles. The Timberwolves don't have a title. I think the Twins got one, 35 years ago or something like that?
87, I think.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to sound spoiled here, but yeah, I think, and no one's ever rooting for anyone to get fired, and I love Jared Bednar. I think he's a great dude. He's always been very kind to me. Chris McFarland is trying his best. I get it. He had to remake that roster on the fly last year, and he did.
If it doesn't happen, they're in trouble, dude.
Well, who's in the most trouble? Is it the head coach? Is it the GM? Or is it the core?
Oh, man, it's the head coach.
I think it might be the GM.
I think it's, because of his tenure here.
Chris McFarland?
No.
Jared Bednar?
Yes.
Why? The lack of playoff success?
Yes, because you've advanced past the second round one time, and I know that one time you won the Stanley Cup championship, but it's like, I don't like it. I mean, and I'm actually fine with them sticking with Bednar, because I think over time you realize they didn't have a ton of time to gel last year. I know that sounds like an excuse, but in that sport it just means something more. So, that's the way I would look at it. And if they don't have success or if they're struggling, dude, in hockey, they'll fire a coach after 3 games, Will.
Oh, do you know how many head coaches have been fired since Jared Bednar got hired a decade ago? I don't have the exact stat in front of me, but I would bet it's between 50 and 60. There are definitely teams on their 3rd or 4th coach since Bednar took this job. It's the most ruthless sport, and I do think there's something to the Cronkies had fired their GM and their head coach on the basketball side and probably didn't want to do it in the hockey side. But that said, I think all the attention's on the Avalanche.
But if you look at it, though, look at the roster that they've built. And Chris McFarland's had a little bit to do with that, especially of late, of kind of putting the pieces there. You know, Bill Parcells' old thing of, if you want me to cook the meal, won't you let me shop for the groceries type of deal? Well, you got all the ingredients.
He did it.
You have
his
all the
team. It's
ingredients
his recipe.
that you need. So now it's up to Jared Bednar and that coaching staff, I would believe.
So
that's my opinion.
How does this season go then for the Avs? As long as we're here on October 7th making predictions, what's going to look like when this is all said and done?
Oh, man, I heard you guys talking about it earlier, too. I like it. I like this team.
I do, too.
Listen, man, I don't think I can go all the way and say they're going to win it, but they're going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm going to say they win it. I got the Avs over the Hurricanes in 6.
Wow, you have it all planned out.
It's my pick, man. I think Florida's going to drop off just a tad.
But if you do that, or how comfortable are you in saying that the Nuggets are going to be there, too?
Oh, I think absolutely. I mean, you took the Thunder to 7 last year with a much worse roster. I think you can do it again this year. I think there's a real chance we get 2 parades in June. I absolutely do.
I think look at the odds. Both teams are there. Wouldn't it be like that shocking?
But it would be the week of our lives.
Holy cow, man.
Remember old Sergio Dip on ESPN talking about VJ? He's having the time of his life. We would be having the time of our lives. Avs and Kings tonight, reacting to it all day tomorrow. For Dante and Cello, I'm Will. It's DST on the Fan.
The Broncos took down the defending Super Bowl champs in the city of brotherly love. After a bumpy start to the season, as Denver finally found its true team identity. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Don't get for my friends at Roller Auction. Got one of my favorite auctions that is open for bidding right now. A government fleet vehicle and equipment auction. It's got SUVs, sedans, pickup trucks, utility trucks, dump trucks, police vehicles, trailers, various municipality equipment, and so much more. Like I said, it's open for bidding right now. It will be ending on October 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. One of my favorite auctions. Go see it all and get yourself a great deal at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year,